Firefighters put their lives on the line every single day for all of us, but experts say it's cancer. Cancer that is killing our first responders more often than fires. Let that sink in. Cancer more deadly than fires. And now there are laws in place to help them. So our question tonight, why is it so hard for firefighters to get support? Why is it such a battle? CBS 5's Liana Enriquez is here tonight with a story she started investigating, Liana, about 2 years ago.
I did. Gilbert Aguirre is a Goodyear firefighter, and he, along with 2 other firefighters, all worked at the same station together, and they were all diagnosed with cancer. One of them no longer here to tell his story. Legally, they say they should be covered by workman's comp, but as you're about to see, it's not happening.
Yeah, it's been heartbreaking.
Goodyear firefighter Gilbert Aguirre coping with the loss of his best friend and brother in boots.
I was diagnosed in June of 2015, and a few months later he was diagnosed of his cancer.
Austin Peck lost that battle just a few weeks ago. Now Gilbert is left fighting his own battle.
The one thing I wasn't expecting and wasn't prepared to go through battle-wise was dealing with workman's comp.
Since being diagnosed with chronic myeloid leukemia 4 years ago, he's been fighting for coverage through workman's comp.
Why are they denying it?
Because they can.
Workman's comp is meant to cover job-related illnesses and injuries. Gilbert's cancer is presumed to be job-related under Arizona law. But Copperpoint American Insurance, which administers workman's comp for the city of Goodyear, continues denying Gilbert's claim.
I don't know how they can sleep at night.
Senator Paul Boyer drafted House Bill 2161, the state's law that includes cancer coverage for firefighters.
It was one of the hardest fights I've ever had to fight at my time down here, but it was one of the most worthwhile fights, just because, I mean, these are our heroes that are on the front lines, and they tell me it's not a matter of if I get cancer, but when.
And this is the chemo medication that I take.
Gilbert's fight is a common one for firefighters. It's one Austin never won.
The last few months that he was alive, he struggled a lot with just trying to get coverage insurance for him to be able to get the treatments he still needed. He says that fighting the workman's comp is way harder than fighting his cancer. This is one of the things that they bring out to you is this box.
This bin paints the pictures of trials and disappointment, denial after denial. Gilbert has appealed all the way up to the Arizona Supreme Court and won.
But all that means is that I get to start the whole process over again.
Arizona's family reached out to the city of Goodyear. They sent us this letter they recently sent to Copperpoint because they too had concerns, stating in part, Copperpoint used the same doctor to conduct independent medical exams in 2 cases submitted by Goodyear employees that were denied for coverage. This same doctor has now testified he had never found a causal relationship between cancer and firefighting in any of his case reviews. We are asking that this doctor not be used in Goodyear cases. Meanwhile, these firefighters continue to put their lives on the line, expecting they'll be covered if they get sick or injured.
Hopefully it changes.
But for some, it's not happening, and while they're waiting, some are dying.
These insurance companies, I promise you, they know that if they drag it out long enough, most firefighters are just going to throw up their hands and say, I'll accept whatever fate that I have.
Or die in the process.
That's right.
For Gilbert, he says he'll continue to fight for his family, for his fellow brothers and sisters, and for the ones, like Austin, who no longer can.
We're going to do this together. I know cancer in the fire service is really big. I just hope that this whole thing makes it easier for the next person coming through with the cancer.
I reached out to Copperpoint, which sent us this statement stating in part, the law addressing firefighter cancer claims contains a very specific criteria that must be met in order for a cancer claim to be covered. So Brandon, essentially they're blaming the law and how it's written on their denials.
So just after watching that detailed report, it seems like this firefighter had met that criteria under the law.
He did, and that's why this whole situation is so mind-blowing.
So after watching that report, and I know so many of our viewers likely have this same very question, how is this even legal?
Well, according to lawmakers, it's not. In fact, you need to listen to what one senator said about it. If you or I break the law, there's consequences.
That's right.
How can they break the law and there be no consequences?
Because they have the high-priced attorneys that can skirt the law.
It's just awful. We're going to continue to stay on top of this and bring you the very latest. We're not letting this one go.
Yeah, we shouldn't let it go. We've got to do whatever we can to protect our Valley firefighters and first responders. Full stop. Leon Enriquez, solid reporting, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you.